My name is Giselle Grace B. Alderete, and today, together with my partner, Regine Pitado, we will talk about something that makes up everything around us, matter. So when we say matter, what do you think of? It's water, air, your chair, or even your lunch. All of these are examples of matter because matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. So, but today, we're not just going to talk about what matter is, we're going deeper. We'll explore what makes up matter, how it behaves, and what happens when it changes from one form to another, like ice melting into water or water turning into vapor. So let's check the attendance first. Where is Miss Kilab?
Present.
Beltran?
Present.
Miss Balanay?
Present, ma'am.
So I guess you are all are present today. So today we're gonna learn a lot from this topic. So let me share with you the objectives of our study. So by the end of this session, you should be able to explain physical changes by looking at how atoms and molecules are arranged and move, and be more curious and confident in talking about the tiny particles that make up matter, or create a simple model that shows how particles behave in different states. So we'll do some fun activities today using ICT tools that we prepared for all of you to answer. So please prepare your laptops or phones and make sure your internet connection is stable. So let's begin with a warm up to get our brains thinking. I want to know what you already know about matter or even what you think you know. There are no wrong answers here. This is just to get us thinking. So I'm sharing a link in the chat right now. So when you open this link, you'll see one question. What comes to your mind when you hear the word matter? So you will answer it individually. Here's what to do. I'll give you 5 minutes to think about the question carefully. After 5 minutes of thinking, come back and post your answer in Answer Garden. Once everyone has posted, I'll share the live word cloud and we'll take a look at your responses together. Alright, here are your answers. Let's see what words are coming up the most. So I see words like mass, gas, space, solid, and love. So there are great starting points. Some others words are spot on, while others may reflect a few misconceptions, and that's okay. So we'll clarify all of this as we go along. So you did a great job on this. You all did know what we are gonna learn today. Now that we've warmed up, let's move into a game to test your existing knowledge about matter and how particles behave in different states. So I'm sharing a Kahoot quiz link in the chat. Please click the link and join the quiz using your real name or related to your name so I can see who's playing and answering this quiz. So you'll be answering questions live with the rest of the class and we'll see who gets the highest score. The person who will get the highest score will get 30 points. Let's begin. So, nice work everyone. So, nalingaw ra ba mo sa ako ang pa-activity na Kahoot?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Nalinaw ma'am.
Wow, thank you kaayo. So, I'm going to give you another fill in the blank activity. So, this will help you make sense of how particles behave in solids, liquids, and gases, and what happens during changes like melting, freezing, or boiling. So, please go to this link. Na-send ako sa GC, ay sa message. And take your time reading each sentence carefully. So, mag-choose mo og mga words na best completes it. So, you'll be working individually now. And once you're finished, type done in the chat. So, maghuna-huna mo while doing the activity. Like, unsay mga causes na nganong a matter kay mag-change into state. And how do particles behave differently in each state. And what happens when energy is added or removed. So, don't rush and focus and try your best answering the activity. So, type lang mo sa message guys ha, ay class ha, if mahuman na mo sa activity. So now, thank you kaayo no sa pag-answer sa activity. So naara ba mo na subtan students while doing the activity?
Well, yes.
Thank you kaayo no. I know you already learned more from our activities earlier. So now we will expand that learning and dig deeper to our topic through our discussion for today. The particle nature of matter. So what is matter? Let's figure it out. Matter is anything that takes up space and has mass. This means all the things we see and touch, like water, air, rocks, and even our bodies, are made of matter. The mass of an object tells us how much matter it has. For example, a rock has more mass than a feather because it contains more matter. So matter is the broadest category, referring to anything that has mass and occupies space. So matter is divided into main types: pure substance and mixture. So pure substance, these have fixed composition and distinct properties, which is elements and compounds. So elements is substance made of only one type of atom, which is oxygen and gold. So compounds is substances made from two or more elements chemically but combined in fixed proportions like water and carbon dioxide. On the other hand, mixtures are classified as either homogeneous or heterogeneous. This consists of two or more substances physically combined, not chemically bonded. So homogeneous mixtures is uniform composition throughout, also called solutions, while heterogeneous mixtures, non-uniform compositions, different parts can be seen. So, may I call Alessandra? So, what are the two main types of matter?
The two main types of matter are pure substance and mixture, ma'am.
Yes, correct. And what are the classifications of the mixture?
Homogeneous and heterogeneous.
So, yes, that's right. Homogeneous and heterogeneous. So, thank you. And now let's continue. So Democritus was a Greek philosopher who lived a long time ago, around 460 to 370 BC. He is famous for being one of the first people to come up with the idea of the atom, which is the smallest piece of matter. So, he believed that everything is made of tiny, indivisible atoms moving through empty space or void. And atoms are the smallest units of matter and can't be broken down further. And he said that atoms differ in shape, size, and arrangement, explaining why matters have different properties. And he said also that shape of atoms affects a substance's characteristics. Smooth atoms may form liquids, drug ones may form solid. So it shows a cartoon debate between famous ancient philosophers Aristotle and Democritus. So on the left, we have Aristotle. He believed that all matter is made up of four basic substances, which is earth, water, air, and fire. So this was the widely accepted idea at the time. On the right is Democritus. He disagreed with Aristotle and instead believed that everything is made up of tiny, invisible particles called atoms. So Aristotle is calling Democritus a quack, which means he thought Democritus' idea was ridiculous or not believable. So meanwhile, Democritus is calmly stating his theory about matter being made of atoms. So may I call Jeline? Let me ask you questions first. Who is the one believe that all matter is made up of four basic elements? And what are these elements?
The one who believes that all matter is made up of four basic elements is Aristotle.
And what are these elements?
Huan, earth, water, fire, and air.
Yes, correct. And who is the one that disagree with Aristotle's theory?
Democritus.
Yes, thank you for the wonderful response. That is correct. So let's proceed. So matter is made up of tiny and separate particles. So these particles can be atoms, molecules, or ions. So atoms is the smallest particle of an element. It's still all the properties of the element. And a molecule is a neutral particle made up of two or more atoms that are chemically bonded together. And lastly is ion is a particle that has an electric charge, either positive or negative. So let me call Ira Shane Balanay. Okay, so what is the smallest part of an element?
The smallest part of an element is atom, ma'am. atoms.
Okay, thank you. So, what is a particle that has an electric charge?
Molecule, ma'am. I mean ion, ma'am.
So first, the size of an atom is measured in a unit called an angstrom. So 1 angstrom is incredibly small. It's equal to 1/10 millionth of a millimeter. To give you an idea, that's much smaller than anything we can see with our eyes or even regular microscopes. So now, to see the atom, scientists use a special tool called scanning tunneling microscope, or STM for short. So this microscope can magnify objects up to 10 million times. It doesn't just take a picture, it actually creates a detailed profile of the surface of an atom. So this is the picture of the scanning tunneling microscope. So now, there are four main characteristics of these particles. The particles of matter are very, very small. They are so tiny that we cannot see them with our naked eyes. And the particles of matter have spaces between them. Even though things look solid, there are actually tiny gaps or spaces between the particles. And the particles of matter are constantly moving. These particles are never still. They are always moving, whether they are in solid, liquid, or gas. And lastly, the particles of matter attract each other. There is a force that pulls the particles towards one another, which is why solids hold their shape and liquids stay together. So here are some important properties that matter can have. Hardness. So this tells us how hard or soft a material is. And color and texture is these are properties we can see and feel. And malleability. So this is the ability of a material to be hammered or rolled into thin sheets without breaking. And flexibility is this tells us if a material can bend without breaking. And conductivity is this is how well a material can conduct heat or electricity. And viscosity, this is how thick or sticky a liquid is. So, before I give the floor to Regine Pitado, may I call Alessandra? So, what are the 6 important properties of matter?
Ang tagal ito, ma'am.
What are the 6 important properties of matter?
The six important of matter is hardness, color and texture, variability, flexibility, conductivity, and
Well,
viscosity.
thank you. This is absolutely correct. So, now Miss Regine will continue to discuss our topic. She will explain the rest of the discussion.
Morning everyone, I am Regine Tado and today I will continue to discuss the particle nature of matter. So now let's dig deeper into our discussion by introducing the particle models of the three states of matter. So these are the three states of matter. We have the solids, liquids, and gases. So may I call on Alessandra to please read the properties of solids?
Properties of solids. First, solids have a fixed shape and a fixed volume. Second, solids cannot be compressed much. Third, solids have high densities. Fourth, solids do not fill their container completely. And lastly, solids do not flow.
So thank you, Miss Alessandra. So solids no are materials whose particles are tightly packed in fixed positions, allowing them to maintain a definite shape and volume. So because of the particles vibrate but do not move freely. So solids are rigid no and incompressible. So it means it cannot be compressed and do not flow or fill their containers unlike liquid. So this close packing also now gives us solid high density compared to liquids and gases. So what can you say about the illustration on the screen or the picture on the screen? Ano sa inyong makita?
Dikit naman.
What?
Na-compress kay siya, ma'am, ang
Dikit.
Yes,
particle.
correct. So, as what I have mentioned earlier, no, solid is compressed siya. So, wala siya gap. Now, let's proceed to the properties of liquids. So, liquids have fixed volume, but they have no fixed shape. Then, like solids, no, liquids cannot be compressed much, and liquids have moderate to high densities. Then, liquids do not fill their container completely, and liquids generally flow. So, unlike sa solids, so ang liquid is makompress siya, no? So, these are the particles motion of liquids, no? So, unsa nyo hang ma-observe?
Ang iyang particles, ma'am, is na siya gaps.
Yes, so unlike sa solid no is compressed siya. So ang liquid is na siya yung mga gaps. Then, let's proceed to the properties of gases. So, gases have neither a fixed shape nor a fixed volume. So, gases can be compressed easily, and gases can have very low densities. And also, gases fill their container completely then. And lastly, gases flow easily. Unlike solids and liquids, no, gases have neither a fixed shape nor a fixed volume. So these are the particles of these are the particle motion of gases, no. So unsay inyong ma-observe? Unsay mong ma-observe, Miss Kilab?
Lagyo kay siya.
Yes, thank you. Very good. Lagyo kay siya, no? Unlike the solid, no, nga atong na-show ganina is very compressed ang mga particles. And sa liquid is ang uban nga mga particles is nag-compress siya, but ang uban is wala na siya mga gap. Then sa gases, so as what you can see in the screen, so ang gases is kuan gid siya, lagyo kayo siya og mga particles. So these are the properties, no, the solid, liquid and gas. So kung sa shape o kung i-characterize nato siya ang solid, liquid and gas, so when it comes to shape, no, solid is definite, liquid is indefinite, and gas is indefinite. So ang definite di ay nga shape, no, it is a substance with a definite shape, keeps it from and does not change unless a force is applied. So kung mayong tag definite, so mo na gid na iyahang shape. So di ba, for example ang rock, so ang rock kay dili man siya, kung isulod mo siya sa jar is dili na siya ma-change ang iyang shape. But sa liquid and gas, so di ba ang liquid kung isulod mo siya sa container, so kung unsay shape sa container is mo fill in dito ang liquid and as well as the gas. Intermolecular spacing, no, very close ang solid, then slightly farther and ang liquid, while the gas is far from one another. So as what I have showed ganina, no, sa screen. Then when it comes to volume, so it is definite also ang liquid, while the gas is indefinite. Then when we talk about compressibility, so solid is not compressible, while liquid not compressible, then gas is highly compressible. And when it comes to density, so solid, no, is the densest, while liquid is dense, and gas has low density. Then lastly, the ability to flow. So solid, as what I have mentioned earlier, so solid cannot flow, while liquid will be able to flow, and gas will be able to flow. Now let's proceed to the phase changes of matter. So we will explore, no, the fascinating world of phase changes, how matter transforms from one state to another. So makita ninyo di ba ang diagram? Kindly thumbs up kung makita ninyo, maklaro ra ba? Okay, thank you. Let's start now with the most familiar changes, which is the melting and freezing. So nakita ninyo ang melting and freezing? So naa siya sa ubos. Kanang arrow nga nasa ubos. So when we heat a solid, no, kung inito na to ang solid, like for example kanang ice, so it absorbs energy and melts into a liquid or what we call water. So ang ice nga solid, mahimo siya og water liquid. So this requires no 80 calories of energy per gram. So the reverse process, freezing, releases that same amount of energy. Then sa evaporation and condensation, no? Now let's lantaw ninyo ang evaporation and condensation. So when liquid water is heated, so di ba kung mag-init ta og water, so unsa man inyong ma-observe kung mag-init mo og water?
Nay aso mo gawas, ma'am.
Yes, correct. So mo na siyang gitawag nga evaporation because ang liquid, when you boil a water, no, ang aso ana niya, mo na siya ang gitawag nga evaporation. Then next, let's proceed to sublimation and deposition. So this is where, no, the things get a little more interesting. So sublimation and deposition. So sublimation is when a solid like dry ice, siya, directly siya changes into a gas without becoming a liquid. So this requires no 680 calories per gram. So disposition is a reverse, a gas directly turning into solid, then frost forming a cold surface. So it is an example, no, of deposition. So as you can see, no, these phase changes are all interconnected and each involves a specific amount of energy being absorbed or released. So the energy needed depends on the substance and the type of phase change. So by understanding these phase changes, no, is crucial in many areas from cooking and weather forecasting to industrial processes. So I hope no nga kini nga demonstration is naghatag saya og kanang clear bitaw nga picture of how matter changes its state. So same as with the properties of matter, no? So the phase change, so na siya original phase, na siya final phase, and heat required or generated. So when it comes to melting, so ang original phase niya is solid, of course. Then ang final phase niya is liquid, and it requires heat para mahimog liquid ang solid. Then freezing is the original phase is liquid, then it becomes solid. Then sa condensation, gas to liquid. Evaporation, of course, liquid to gas. Then sublimation, a solid, no, when as I have mentioned earlier, ang solid is directly siya mahimo into gas, dili na siya moagi og liquid. Then lastly, the deposition, so gas turns into solid. So that's all for our discussion about the proper particle nature of matter. So I hope you understand and you listen. Alright class, now that we have explored the fascinating world of the particle nature of matter, so it's time now to put on our creative hats and show off what we have learned. So napa may na-learn sa atong discussion, everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Wow, that's good. So we are going to use a super cool tool called Pictochart to create infographics. So this time, so kung sa yung mga na-learn, so we will put that into infographics, and we will make it a visual story. So are you familiar with Pictochart?
Yes.
And are you
Yes,
familiar with
ma'am.
infographics? Nakatry na ba mo nga mag-make og infographics?
Yes.
So that's good, no? So I don't need to elaborate it more since you already know on how to use no Pictochart and on how to create infographics. So what are you going to do now is i-open ninyo ang link nga ako ang i-send here. So ako siyang i-paste diri sa message. So nakita ninyo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. So inyohan na siyang i-click ang link, then kung makaadto na mo sa page or sa dashboard sa Pictochart, okay, ako ang i-share screen ha. Okay, so once maabot na mo diri nga or maka-open na mo sa website, muadto ra mo sa ang itaon na ninyo ang infographics. Nakita ninyo ang screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, di ba? So nakita ninyo diri nga naay infographic. So inyo na siyang i-click, then you can choose no sa mga designs nga unsa inyo ang gusto nga mga design. Dayon, of course, inyohang i-input dira kung unsa inyohang na-learn from our discussion about the particle nature of matter. Okay, para namoy guidelines no on how to make kung unsay dapat i-meet ninyo nga goal sa inyohang work. So we prepared here some criteria no or rubric para makabalo mo kung unsa inyohang angay buhaton. And para makuha ninyo ang grade nga dapat ninyong makuha. So nakita ninyo akong gi-share screen. Okay, anyway, ako na po din siyang i-paste here ang rubric para naamoy guide sa inyong work. So when you are done with your work, no, so you can send it here sa ato ang Google Classroom para makita namo ang inyong work, and we can give you grades based on your output. So, did you understand, everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Understand.
Okay, that's good. Okay, now since we are done with making infographics, no, from your understanding about our topic, now let's proceed on making or answering some questions by using Quizalize. So, what you have to do is I'll send this link para ma-open ninyo ni nga website. So, naa sa message no ang website or ang link. Then, once you open the website, all you have to do is enter a code. I'll paste here the code of our game or our quiz. So, nakita ra ninyo akong gipang send nga link o code.
Yes, ma'am. Makita ra, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. So, atong buhaton ani no is atong learning or atong na-learn ganina is himuon na to siya interactive quiz. So, di ba naman mo na-learn from our discussion earlier? Aba mo na-learn?
Yes, ma'am.
So, we will turn that learning into interactive quiz by using this website. It is what we call Quizalize. So, Quizalize now turns quizzes into a game. So, it is not just a test nga atong pangansiran, but it is a way no to challenge yourself and have fun while learning. So, you will answer kung ano kanang mga multiple choice questions based on everything we covered on our lesson. Okay, now that we have explored and evaluate the behavior of particles in different states of matter, no, so it's time to extend your learning through a creative digital project. So, sa mga activities nga atong ipanghimo ganina, mga pangansira ninyo, so kato siya, ato na siyang i-extend by giving you an assignment. So, for this assignment, no, each of you will use visme.co to create a digital model that visually shows how particles are arranged and move in solids, liquids, and gases. So, you will use Visme no, to create tools nga mag-explain or magpakita og how solid, liquid, and gas differ. Then, after creating, wait, ako sang i-share sa inyo ha ang link sa visme.co. So, you can have an access on it. So, nakita ra ninyo ang link na akong na-share.
Yes, ma'am. Nakita ra.
Okay, that's good. So, kining Visme, no, i-open na ninyo siya. Dayon. Okay, akong i-share ha para makita ninyo ang kuan. Ang say makita ninyo aning website. Makita ra everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So, diha, na presentation, no? Kini mo ni siya sample. So, mo ni yung buhaton. So, kana, maghimo mong illustration ngayon, ana. The solid, liquid, and gas. So, after making illustration, so you have to explain something, no? Kay nakuha ra ba ninyo kung unsay atong angay buhaton? Nasabtan ra ba sa tanan?
Yes, ma'am. Nasabtan ra, ma'am.
Okay, so after making an illustration, no, you have to answer the following questions. So, akong i-paste here sa ato ang message. Then, inyuhan ng magkuha mong copy ani. So, these are the questions, no? After making this illustration. So, how are the particles arranged in a solid, liquid, and gas? So, muna siya first question. Then, second one, how do the particles move in each state of matter? Then, lastly, you should describe one real-life example of how particle behavior changes from one state to another. So, nasabtan ba everyone? Kindly react daw be og heart if nasabtan ba ang instruction. Okay, I see some reactions here from Ira Shane. How about the others? Okay, thank you. So it means nasabtan gyud sa tanan. So naba mo na-learn karon sa ato ang discussion, sa ato ang klase?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So,
Yes,
hatag mo
ma'am.
sa ugang may kung unsa inyong na-learn. So, what are the three states of matter?
Solid, liquid, gas.
Okay, thank you. Very good.
Solid, liquid,
Very good. So, thank you everyone. Thank
solid,
you
and liquid,
class
ma'am.
for participating to our class today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.